So now we're running, I got to tell you though, I'm really disappointed in the Republican Party too. I'm really disappointed in the Democratic Party too. The Democrats right now are way out there. I mean, and you know, the progressive, I mean, they're like way out there. But I've got to tell you something else too. As two parties, we're sitting here with guns pointed at each other. That's what we are. We're in for a showdown. And I've been talking a lot about sustainability. And I'm like, is this sustainable? We can, you know, the last go round, you know, when Mr. Bush won, he won by what, 3 votes or something like that? And Mr. Obama came in and won by a handful. And if we win again, and so, you know, this is just perspective. You know, when Mr. Bush was in office, he did a lot of things I thought were awesome, but he did a lot of things that weren't very conservative at all. And so we got the worst of that. And we get the legacy of the war. And by the way, I was not one of these guys who went around bashing Mr. Bush with that, okay? But dang, those are unsustainable. It's like that's why the founders warned us. When you get involved, man, you're in it for a long time. You're better to stay out. I appreciate that principle now more than ever. You know, but we've got a bigger problem out here on the left, way out here on the left. You know, in this sort of this unionized government that we have, this special interest government that we have, this is the real problem, folks. It's the special interests. And so when I stood up, I said, you know, I'm going to stand against the whole machine. Because, gosh, it's like, you know, you vote these guys in, then they get kicked out, you vote these guys in, we get the worst of both worlds. We get flipped over here, then we get flipped over here, and this winner take all with guns drawn against each other. It's not sustainable. So first off, I'm going to stand up and defend myself, and I hope other people want to come along and if you guys believe the same thing that I believe, I hope that you'll join me. Because I'm going to tell you something, you're not going to get very many opportunities to pick an independent candidate again. We just witnessed in our own here, we just did fusion voting in Oregon, right? Fusion voting. I'm the only one who survived. The only one who survived. They're all gone. And you look around in every state around us, and both the big parties have determined that there won't be any third-party candidates anymore. And I'm telling you something, people, and I used to say this all the time, it's a wasted vote. I'm not going to, that's why I didn't vote for the Libertarians, even though I won. It's a wasted vote. You know what, it's a good thing George Washington didn't believe in wasted vote syndrome. Because if he had, we'd still be subject to the British today. And I'm going to tell you, you've got to get your chances while you can. While you can, because those choices will be gone. They will be gone. And I'm not saying you can go out and, you know, every third-party candidate is the right one. But I'm going to make a case that it's a good place to do it here in Multnomah County. It's because I just, as much as I do, and I voted for Dee last time, and this is like, I'm not picking on her at all, I don't think the Republicans can win. And that's why I'm standing up to defend myself. And I'm going to go down to the wire defending myself. All the way to the wire. And when this is done, I'm going to be back next year because I live here, right here, and I'm going to defend myself. So I obviously got worked up, and I'm kind of a guy who does get worked up sometimes about the things that matter to me. And I'm going to close, and I hope that you'll take a minute, though. And you know, if you're interested in anything that I have to say, or if anything has resonated with you, you know, technology has created the opportunity, if we only cared, that we could actually go out and find the people that we really do value and share our values with. Because we can all put our stuff up on the internet. You can go to my GoJeffLawrence.com. It's like the Jeff Lawrence channel. Right? In fact, somebody was criticizing me today for saying, gosh, your video sure isn't very, the lighting isn't very good. I'm like, I took it. The sun was shining. I couldn't find a place in the shade. I mean, I did my best. But I've said a lot of things up there. And I'm going to keep on saying a lot of things. And I want to work with all the people who are on my side. But I feel like it's a last stand. And folks said, Jeff, I've never run for office before. And it's like, what do you want to start running for office now? Why don't you start with the city council or start with something small? It's because we don't have time. It's because we don't have time. Because there's an inflection on us. And you know, I'm sorry I'm rambling on here, but Andy Grove was a friend of mine. He worked at Intel, and I loved it when Andy Grove was around because even a little guy like me could walk straight in and talk to Andy Grove, and we could say, Andy, you are just full of it. And he loved it because he wanted to hear it. He wanted some checks and balances, right? But he talked about inflections all the time, where there comes along a time and space where everything changes. And if you don't see the inflection when it's happening, you will miss the window of opportunity. And this is the skill that I have brought to bear in my professional life. And why people have always said, Jeff, that can't be done. It's because they didn't have eyes to see the window. And because they couldn't see the window, they had no idea how to drive and lead anybody to it. And that's the one talent that I've been blessed with for whatever reason, is I know when the window is there and I can see it. And because I can see it, I don't always know every step along the way to get to it, but I can focus on it and I can go to the window. And so I'm going to go to the window and I'm going to call on all of the disaffected folks. I'm calling on the Republicans and the Democrats and the Independents. Now's your chance. There's a window there to go through. And you know what? We're all going to have to work in the major parties for a very, very, very long time. But you know, a little bit of leaven from time to time is a good thing. Because the thing is there needs to be accountability. And this is what all always happens. The parties go back and they win. And then they just consume whoever was represented. They always do that. And that's why this is a national discussion, folks. It doesn't have anything to do with me, and it doesn't have anything to do with Dee. It has everything to do with, and it doesn't even have anything to do with Earl, except, of course, he doesn't believe in liberty whatsoever, right? I mean, other than that simple fact, he doesn't believe he owns us all, right? He knows what's best for us all. This is a much higher discussion, folks. This is a national discussion. When we send people back there, we got to send people back there who are going to look out for you. And if there's no accountability for our parties, there's no accountability. Because they'll just forget tomorrow. Because they do it all the time, folks, over and over and over and over they do this to us. And it's not even the folks on the ground. I mean, it's like, do you believe in good? Yes. Well, where is it defined? Who is it? Can you put your finger on it? Sometimes. Do you believe in evil? Yeah, I do. Well, can you put your finger on it? Well, sometimes. I know it when I see. It's like tyranny. What is it? It's not a person. It's not a place. But it's there. And we know it's there. So this is my impassioned plea, one of many. And I apologize for getting carried away. But I really do appreciate the opportunity. And you know what? I appreciate the opportunity that Dee would let me come and be a guest in her house. Be a guest in her house and come and speak. Because she's been a defender of liberty for her whole life. And she has been. You know, and she shares a lot of the same values that I do. Because she comes from the same kind of a political and philosophical background that I do. And so I want to thank her. I want to thank Tony, too, because they've always been so kind to us and reached out. Because we do share a common goal in the end. Because in the end, we want our children to be free, and we want to defend our liberty. And if folks want to trade their freedom away, so be it. But they're not going to trade ours! Thank you.